So, hello, pleasant day, everyone. So, again, this is Ma'am Julina for the discussion of the strategic management concepts and cases. So, again, we are into the nature of strategic management. We're just going to continue yung mga na-discuss natin on the live discussion. Okay? So, for our discussion for today, we're just, of course, going to go back, okay, or just going to go over yung mga na-discuss na po natin. So, of course, last meeting, we have already mentioned regarding the meaning of strategic management. So, when we're talking about strategic management, we're talking about art and science of formulating, implementing, and evaluating cross-functional decisions that enable an organization to achieve its objective. So, ang kailangan nyo lang pong tandaan when we're talking about strategic management is that it always talk about yung formulation, implementation, and evaluation. Okay? So, kailangan nyo lang tandaan yun. On strategic management, okay, terminologies naman, okay, we are talking about strategic management as synonymous with strategic planning. So, meron lang silang konting pinagkaiba. Dahil kay strategic management, kadalasan mas ginagamit po natin yung term na strategic management when we are into academe or education, like today, di ba? So, dahil nasa academe tayo, we're just going to study about strategic management, kaya kadalasan yun yung tawag po natin doon. But in the business world, kadalasan ang tawag nila is strategic planning. So, yun lang yung pagkakaiba nilang dalawa. But they are synonymous. So, also, strategic management refers to strategic formulation, implementation, and evaluation. Pero sa strategic planning kasi, it only refers to formulation. Kasi planning pa lang, di ba? Nagpo-formulate pa lang tayo. So, pag sinabi natin strategic planning, okay, it only refers to formulation. So, also, we have discussed the brief history of yung ating strategic management from yung kanyang pag-usbong, di ba? Hanggang sa nag-cast aside siya. Okay? So, after casting aside, so nakilala ulit siya or nag-boom ulit po yung industry. And until now, on the 21st century, ay patuloy pa rin po na ginagamit natin, okay, si strategic management. Okay? So, again, we have three strategic management processes or three stages. So we have here strategy formulation. Okay, when we're talking about strategy formulation, it includes developing mission, identifying an organization or external opportunities and threats, determining internal strengths and weaknesses, and establishing long-term objectives. Okay, so also we have strategy implementation. So when we're talking about strategy implementation, we requires a firm to establish annual objective, devise policies, motivate employees, and allocate resources. And lastly, when we're talking about strategy evaluation, okay, so we're talking about the final stage in strategic management. So don't worry because again, okay, every term that we are mentioning here on the three stages are also going to give a very specific, okay, discussion later on. So we're just giving the outline for the three. So ito yung mga nabanggit ko kanina on the strategy formulation. It talks about our vision and mission, okay, alternative strategies, long-term objective, strength and weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and strategy selection. So when we're talking about formulation, ito of course is the first step, okay, of our process. So on strategy implementation, we are talking about motivating employees, annual objectives, okay, policies, and resource allocation. So again, every term will be discussed accordingly. So sa evaluation naman, this is the part of evaluation, corrective action, measure performance, review external and internal. Okay? So again, on our strategic management, we have here, okay, terms that we need to understand, okay, for us to be able to apply, di ba? How are we going to create, okay, a strategy of our own. So, meron tayong mga terms na kailangan at the end of this chapter, you would be able to define. Yung kayo mismo, you would be able to understand. Okay? So, ito yung mga terms na to. This is the first 5. And then, meron tayong another. So, of course, isa-isahin po natin tong mga to. Ano po? So, don't worry too much. Okay? So, pagdating kay strategies, ay ang tinutukoy po kasi natin dito, when we are talking about strategies are usually found in the high levels of management. So, they are the individuals who are mostly responsible for the success or failure of an organization. Siyempre, di ba? So, because they are the high levels of management. So, kadalasan, sila po yung nagiging reason kung bakit nagiging successful or failure ang isang organization. So, ang mga strategies po natin, okay, have various job titles such as Chief Executive Officer o yung CEO. So, again, CEO means Chief Executive Officer, pwedeng President, pwedeng Owner, Chair of the Board, or Executive Director, Chancellor, Dean, or Entrepreneur. Okay? So, okay. So, itong mga ito could also be, okay, found, okay, or the positions found as strategist. So, kadalasan sila yung mga nasa high level of management. So, sabi po ni J. Conger, a professor of organizational behavior at the London Business School and author of The Building Leaders, it says that all strategists have to be chief learning officers. So, pag sinabi nating chief learning officers, they are they have extended period for change. Okay? Kailangan they are always eager to learn. Learning should always be, okay, a never-ending process para po sa kanila if you wanted to be a strategist. So, hindi ka tumitigil kapag may nakita kang strategist na effective, hindi doon natatapos yung goal mo as a strategist. Okay? If our leaders aren't highly adopted and great models during this period, then our companies won't adopt either. Because ultimately, leadership is about being a role model. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ang strategist po natin o yung leader natin o yung nangunguna sa atin sa organization is someone who is not, okay, adapting sa changes na nangyayari in this changing world, then yung organization natin can also adapt. Hindi rin po makaka-adapt ng sarili niya yung organization natin. Sabi natin, these strategies help an organization gather, analyze, and organize informations. They track industries and competitive trends. So, ibig sabihin, they also develop forecasting models. So, meron tayo kasing mga scenario analysis or we even evaluate threats and develop creative action plans para dun sa mga nangyayari on the industry. Sabi natin, as strategies, dapat is adaptable. So, kailangan, okay, kapag nakapag-gather siya ng data, na-analyze and organize ng information, and nakapag-benchmark siya sa iba't ibang competitive trends ng industries, okay? So, ngayon dapat is makapag-develop siya ng forecasting model na makakapagbigay sa company ng edge, okay, against yung kanyang mga competitors. So, kasi pag nalaman niya itong mga to, okay, nakita niyo yung bigger picture, then ibig sabihin, si strategist ngayon, diba, or si leader mo ngayon, makakapaggawa siya ng isang action plan that could help the organization as a whole. And lastly, to evaluate corporate and the divisional performance. So, ibig sabihin, after all the plans na ginagawa po ni ating strategist, kailangan malaman niya on how, okay, he can improve or pwedeng retain yung mga strategies na ginagawa po nila. So, now let's go to the vision and mission statements. So again, pag sinabi nating vision statement, we are actually answering the question, what do we want to become? Okay? So many organizations today develop a vision statement that answer what do we want to become, of course. So developing a vision statement is often considered the first step, okay, of the strategic planning. So uh, after na ano po tayo ng ating strategic plan ng ating vision statement for our strategic plan, dun naman sumusunod si mission statement. So si mission statement, okay, nasa module niya rin ito because it is not included on the PowerPoint presentation. So pag sinabi nating mission statements, they are the enduring statements of purpose that distinguishes one's business from other similar firms. So, ibig sabihin, okay, yung mission statement natin, they are the statement of purpose. Tandaan nyo yan, okay? Pag sinabi mong mission statement, then ibig sabihin, pag nabasa ko itong mission statement mo, makikita ko kung anong klaseng business ka. Okay, what is your business all about? So, on your mission statement, makikita ko kung ano ang gusto mong ibigay. What is your purpose in life? Bakit ka um, nagpo-put up as a business? Okay? So, it addresses the basic question that faces all strategies, what is our businesses? Kung a vision statement, ang sinasagot niya is, what do we want to become? Kay mission statement naman, ang sinasagot niyang tanong is, what is our business? So, kailangan masagot natin yun as clear as possible. So, because a clear mission statement describes the values and priorities of an organization. So, pag ang nagde-develop tayo ng mission statement, we compels strategists to think about the nature and scope of present operations to assess the potential attractiveness of future marketers or future markets and activities natin. So, kailangan, when we are creating, okay, a mission statement, kailangan naiintindihan talaga natin yung scope ng missions natin. And, of course, yung purpose ng business natin. So our mission statement broadly charts the future direction of our organization. So kapag malinaw, clear ang ating mission statement, then we are setting a good direction na pupuntahan ng ating organization as a whole. Okay? So I hope malinaw tayo sa vision statement. Sige, balik tayo. Pag vision statement, we are answering the question, what do we want to become? Pag mission statement, we are answering the question, what is our business? Okay? So, yung clear purpose ng business mo. So, it is a statement of purpose. So, next natin na kailangan i-define is the external opportunities and threats. So, pag sinabi natin external opportunities and threats, okay? We are referring to the largely beyond the control of a single organization. So, ibig sabihin, this is something that we cannot control. So, it is under the economic, social, cultural, demographic, environmental, political, governmental, technological, competitive trends, and events. So, itong mga ito, these are something that we as a business cannot even control. Diba? This is something na wala tayong magagawa. Kasi this is outside ng ating organization. So, okay, yung opportunities and threats natin are largely beyond, okay, our control. Thus, the word external, okay, dahil nga external po ito, okay, of course, this is not happening within our firm. Okay, so, in a global economic recession, a few opportunities and threats that face many firms are listed. So, for example, okay, availability of capital can no longer be taken for granted. So, syempre, kapag nag-start po tayo ng business, we need capital. So, ibig sabihin, kapag wala po tayong available capital, okay, hindi na po ito isang maliit na problem. Dahil this is something na kailangan natin, lalo in times of recession. Pag sinabi natin recession, ito yung word sa Pangasinan na gawat, okay? Or nagkakaroon tayo ng mga problems, siguro merong war, may pandemic tulad ngayon, na bumabagsak yung economy po natin. Okay? So, the first, di ba, kung makikita natin, yung first external opportunity natin is yung ating economic recession. So, pag nagkakaroon ng economic recession, walang capital, mga tao, so paano nila masusustain yung kanilang organization or yung kanilang business operation? Okay? So, sa social naman, consumer expect green operations and products. So, pag sinabi po natin green, we are talking about yung mga products and services po natin that help. Okay?
Okay, so for the external opportunities and threats on the economic, okay, social, cultural, demographic, environmental, okay, and also, it's moving. Okay, political, governmental, technological, competitive trends and events. Okay, these are all discussed, diba? Na-discuss natin ito lahat. So, meron tayong mga examples on the module. So, please do check those examples. It may come out on your examinations or quiz. Okay? So, let's go now to the internal strength and weaknesses. Okay? The internal strength and weaknesses, as we have discussed, okay, are an organization's controllable activities that are performed well or poorly relative to competitors. Okay? So, they arise in the management, okay, marketing, finance, production or operation, research and development, information system, okay, computer information system natin. Okay, so organizations strive to pursue strategies that capitalize on strength and improve weaknesses. Kung yung ating external, okay, yung ating external opportunities and threats, okay, we are, okay, yung basic tenet natin of strategic management is to formulate strategies to take advantage of the external opportunities and to avoid or reduce the impact of external threats. Kung ang yung strategic management natin, kaya tayo nag-aaral ng strategic management is to be able to take advantage dun sa opportunities at para ma-avoid natin yung threat. Paano naman yung internal strength and weaknesses natin? Okay? So, paano ba? Paano natin, okay, ano yung gagawin natin para efficiently, okay, maggamit po natin yung internal strength natin. Okay, ang pinakauna natin kailangan gawin is to, okay, identify and evaluate yung ating mismong activities. Okay? We should be able to know ano ba yung ating strength and weaknesses on the functional areas of businesses. So, yung mga functional areas natin ulit na sinasabi natin is yung management, marketing, finance, productions and operation, research and development, and computer information system. Ito yung mga functions within, okay, internally doon sa ating organization. Pero paano nga ba tayo nakakapag-recognize ng strengths and weaknesses? So, we determine strengths and weaknesses relative to the competitors. So, ibig sabihin, kahit ito ay internal, paano mo malalaman na strength mo ito sa pamamagitan ng pagtingin mo sa katabi mo? So, paano mo malalaman na ang strength mo is, okay, on the marketing part if, di ba, wala ka naman tinignan or pinagbasihan na iba. So, relative deficiency or superiority is important information. So, pag deficiency, ibig sabihin nagkukulang ka. So, weakness mo yan. Pero pag superiority, ibig sabihin nangunguna ka. Then, ibig sabihin strength mo yan. So, sa klase, di ba, makikita mo, okay, if you will treat, di ba, yung mga kaklase mo as your competitor, makikita mo kung ano yung strength mo compared doon sa iyong mga kasama. So, bakit natin kailangan i-compare yung sarili natin sa iba? So, para strategically, okay, magamit po natin yung mga informations na ito para, again, ay, yung strength natin is magamit po natin siya and yung weaknesses naman natin is para, okay, ma-improve natin or ma-overcome natin itong mga weaknesses na ito. Okay? So, hindi naman po masama na i-compare natin yung sarili natin if the reason, okay, bakit natin kino-compare yung sarili natin is for improvement at hindi para siraan yung mga iba po nating mga competitors. So, ibig sabihin, pag tinitingnan natin or nagkakaroon tayo ng comparison or benchmarking sa mga kasama po natin or mga competitors natin, this is not para ipakita that we are superior to them, but this is for our self-improvement dun sa ating mismong business operation. Okay? So now we're moving to the long-term objectives. So long-term objectives are objectives that can be defined as specific results, okay, that an organization, okay, achieve in pursuing the organization's mission. Ano uli yung organization's missions natin? Hope you still know. Okay, so again, it is our state of purpose or it answers the questions, what is our business? So, ito, okay, yung ating long-term objective, okay, it is beyond 1 year. Okay, so ang time frame natin is beyond 1 year and, okay, objectives are essentially for organizational success because they state direction. Okay, pag sinabi nating state direction, ibig sabihin, pinapakita niya kung saan tayo pupunta. So, di ba, yun nga po yung ating mission statement. So, sabi natin, it is the result to be achieved in pursuing the organizational mission. Okay? So, these objectives, okay, will help us also to aid in evaluation. So, makakatulong po ito when we are evaluating. Also, in creating synergy or harmonious relationship and reveal priorities. So, pag may mga objectives tayo, may mga goals tayo, alam po natin kung ano yung mga kailangan natin unahin. And of course, it also focus coordination. So, because of our objectives, nakakapagtulong-tulong po yung mga departments natin or teams natin, okay, para magawa ang isang certain na task or objective. Okay? So, also, it provides basis for effective management. Siyempre, pag meron ka pong objective at nare-reach or nagagawa natin yung objective natin, nakikita po natin or nagkakaroon tayong basis ngayon kung effective ba yung ginagawa nating management or hindi. So, strategies, okay, yung ating strategic, okay, long-term objective should be challenging, measurable, consistent, reasonable, and clear. So, kailangan, in a multi-dimensional firm, objective should be established for the overall company and for each division. So, like for example, may iba-iba tayong department, kailangan, di ba, merong long-term objective na ginagawa para sa buong organization at yung bawat divisions, meron din silang gagawin para sa sarili nila kapag yung firm natin is masyado na pong malawak or malaki. Okay? So, okay, punta na tayo sa strategies. When we're talking about strategies, okay, now we're going to identify what is the difference between strategies and strategies. Okay, sabi natin dito, when we're talking about strategies, it is the means by which long-term, it is the which long-term objectives will be achieved. Okay, so business strategies may include, okay, geographical expansion, acquisition, and acquisition, product development, market penetration, market penetration, retrenchment, divestiture, and liquidation. So, don't worry because mali-discuss ito on the latter chapter. But for now, we should know that itong mga to is under our strategies. So, pinag-uusapan po natin dito, okay, is actions na kailangan gawin ng ating mga strategies. Okay? So, pag strategies ang pinag-uusapan natin, we are talking about potential actions. na kung saan ginagamit natin ito para ma-achieve natin yung long-term objectives. Di ba? So, mapapansin mo kanina, si long-term objectives are results to be achieved in pursuing organization's mission. At ngayon naman, si strategies are mechanism by which long-term objectives are realized. So, they are all related to each other. So, mamaya makikita natin yung buong outline na to. Okay? So, again, okay, ito yung strategies natin. Don't worry too much on yung mga examples natin about strategies na ginagawa ng mga ng mga businessmen natin dahil madidiscuss natin yan on the latter chapters. So, now we will going to move on the annual objectives. Bakit ganon? Okay? Nasa annual objectives na tayo. So, ano na tong part? Are we still on the strategy formulation? Ay, of course not. Nasa implementation na tayo. So, di ba meron na tayong long-term objective? Bakit may mga annual objective na naman tayo dito? Ano naman ang pinagkaiba ng mga objectives na to? Bakit ang dami-dami nating objectives? So, pag sinabi natin kasing annual objective, it is our short-term milestone that organizations must achieve to reach long-term objectives. So, itong mga annual objectives natin, dahil nga mahirap i-reach yung mga long-term objective kapag wala tayong mas specific na objective, okay? So, naggagawa tayo ngayon ng mga short-term milestone. Okay? So, like long-term objective, annual objective should be measurable, quantitative, challenging, realistic, consistent, and prioritized. They should be established, okay, and incorporate a visional and functional levels in a large organization. Okay, so it represents the basis for allocating resources. Okay, so yung mga annual objective natin should be stated in terms of management, marketing, finance, production, operation, research and development, and management information system or yung um, information system na tinatawag po natin. So, a set of annual objective is needed for each long-term objective. So, yung mga annual objectives natin are specifically important in strategy implementation. Bakit? Whereas long-term objective are particularly important in the strategy formulation because okay, annual objective represents the basis for allocating resources. So, si annual objective nasa implementation part na yan. Kasi nga po, ito na yung mismong ginagawa na po natin yung action. So, para makatulong siya sa atin on how we're going to allocate yung resources po natin. So, sabi natin dito, kailangan i-establish natin siya at corporate, divisional, and functional level. So, pag sinabi mong corporate, as a whole. Pag sinabi mong divisional, per department. Pag sinabi mong functional, per employees. Meron din silang mga sarili-sariling annual objective na ginagawa natin para makatulong na ma-achieve natin si long-term objective. So, okay. So, si annual objective, it is stated in terms of management, marketing, finance or accounting, production and operations, research and development, and information system and accomplishments. Okay? So, now we're moving on to the policies. So, pag sinabi po nating policies, it is important in strategy implementation as the means by which annual objectives will be achieved. So, okay, ito po yung mga policies natin. Ang tinutukoy po natin dito, okay, paano naman po natin ma-achieve si annual objective. So, kung kanina si annual objective, paano natin ma-achieve si long-term objective, si policies naman will help us to achieve si annual objective. So, yung mga policies natin, okay, includes yung ating mga guidelines, okay, rules and procedures established to support efforts to achieve stated objectives. So, policies are guides to decision making and address repetitive or recurring situations. So, for example, meron po tayong may mga certain tasks po tayo. Okay, si policies po natin, if, for example, meron po tayong mga task or situations na paulit-ulit na nangyayari. So, itong mga policies natin will help us guide, okay, dun sa mga decision making natin para sa mga repetitive na situations. So, um, policies are most often stated in terms of management, marketing, finance, production or operation, research and development, and computer information system. Yung policies natin can be established at the corporate level and applied to an entire organization at the divisional level and applied to a single division or at the functional level. So, ibig sabihin, kung manggagaling ito kay corporate, so lahat na po pwede na pong mag-benefit yung divisional or yung functional levels po natin. So, okay, but on the policies, we need to have, okay, consistency and coordination between organizational departments. So, of course, dahil policy ito, may sinusundan po tayong policy, it should be consistent. And nagkakaroon dapat tayo ng coordination with organizational departments po natin. Okay, and on our policies, sabi dito, we need to have substantial research that suggests that a healthier workforce can more effectively and efficiently implement strategies. So, kapag mas healthy ang workforce natin, ay mas nagagawa po natin ng effectively and efficiently yung mga strategic plan po natin. So, kung mapapansin po natin, okay, sa bawat corporations, hindi nila pinapayagan yung smoking. Kasi, according to our research, smoking has become a very heavy burden, okay, on yung state of social welfare system ng mga employees nila. So, one of example on your module is the burden of Europe's state-run social welfare systems with smoking-related diseases costing well over 100 billion a year. So smoking is also a huge burden to companies worldwide. So yung mga firms natin are continually implementing policies to curtail smoking. So okay, yung mga policies po kasi natin, this is just one of the example of an organization that implementing a policy of no smoking policy, ganyan. So, it is an example. So, kadalasan, we are implementing policies that will make, okay, the organization efficiently and effectively achieve yung kanilang mga annual objectives. Diba? Okay. So, dito, mapapansin na natin ngayon, okay, on our next discussion, yung ways, okay, kung paano nagkakaroon ng comprehensive strategic management module. Okay? So, we are now, okay, showing, okay, yung appropriate areas that shape or show particular focus for yung mga chapters po natin. So, on chapter 2, didiscuss po natin yung vision and mission statement. Okay? Na more mas maayos, mas maganda, and mas malawak. And then yung external audit on chapter 3, internal audit on chapter 4, long-term objectives on chapter 5, generate, evaluate, select strategies on chapter 6, implement strategies, management issues on chapter 7, and implement strategies of marketing, financial accounting, research and development, and yung computer information system on chapter 8, and measures and evaluate performance on chapter 9. So, ito pong mga ito are related to each other. So, we really need to finish all of this to be able to understand what is a strategy all about. Okay? So, now, we're now going to understand or know better the benefits of strategic management. So, bakit nga ba? Okay? Bakit nga po ba tayo kailangan na gumawa ng strategic management plans? So, ano nga po ba yung benefits of strategic management? So, proactive versus reactive. So, sinasabi natin dito, yung strategic management allows an organization to be more proactive. Ano bang pinagkaiba ni proactive at ni reactive? Okay? So, kapag proactive ka po kasi, okay, it allows an organization to initiate and influence. So, ikaw ang nag-initiate at nag-influence. Hindi ka po yung nagre-react lang. Okay? Kapag reactive kasi is you are someone who are just going to respond sa mga nangyayari. So, kapag strategic, you are applying strategic management, okay, into the firm, then ibig sabihin po nun, okay, ikaw yung tao na nangunguna, okay, dun sa trend at hindi ikaw yung nagre-respond lang kung ano yung nangyayari sa trend. Bakit kaya ganun? It's because um, you are already forecasting, 'di ba? As part of strategic planning, nagfo-forecast ka kung ano yung mangyayari. Ano ba yung nangyayari sa industry where you belong. So, ibig sabihin, instead of just waiting for kung ano man yung mangyayari, hindi, dahil you are initiating, you are planning ahead of time. Okay? So, you have become proactive rather than reactive. Okay? So, ngayon, nagkakaroon ka dahil proactive ka, okay, you are to exert control over its own destiny. So, dahil you are someone na nakapag plan strategically, you have become, di ba, yung someone who can control yung kanyang sariling destiny. Sabi ng mga iba, di ba, we can control our destiny, but at least on strategic management, nakikita mo kasi kung saan ka papunta. So, small business owners, chief executive officers, and president and managers of many for-profit and non-profit organizations have recognized and realized the benefit of strategic management. So, nakikita po natin na ngayon kung ano po yung benefit, bakit po kailangan na magkaroon ng strategic management ang bawat businesses, mapamalaki man ito or malaking company. So, okay? So, yung principal benefit po natin historically, okay, the principal benefit of yung strategic management has been to help organization, okay, formulate better strategies through the use of more systematic, logical, and rational approach to strategic choices. So, yung certain ano natin dito, okay, continues to be a major benefit of strategic management, okay, is yung makapag-formulate tayo ng better strategies, okay? So, pag sinabi mong principal benefit is, yung benefit ng strategic management is nagkakaroon tayo ng systematic, logical, and rational approaches sa mga nangyayari po sa business natin as a whole. So, hindi tayo yung basta-basta na lang, di ba? Na nagkakaroon ng mga decisions. So, nagre-research tayo, okay? Inaaral nating mabuti yung processes rather than nagkakaroon tayo ng decision based on sa sarili lang po natin. So, sabi po natin also, okay, one of the benefit of strategic management is yung communication natin. So, yung communication po kasi natin is yung tinutukoy nating key to a successful strategic management. So, if I'm going to ask you, what is the key to a successful strategic management? It is communication. So, because through the involvement, okay, of the process, in other words, yung dialogue and participations of managers and employee, okay, yung plus yung commitment nila dun sa pag-support ng organizational objectives natin will help the organization as a whole to achieve yung kanyang strategic plans. So, ang pinaka-key talaga para maging successful tayo is communication. So, kailangan malinaw, okay? Malinaw po sa atin na kung ano yung gusto nating mangyari. And ma-communicate po natin ito sa mga employees po natin. So, kahit po, okay, ikaw na ang pinakamagaling na strategist, kung hindi mo po kayang i-communicate, ipaliwanag ng maayos doon sa yung mga employees kung ano yung mga kailangan nilang gawin or bakit nila kailangan gawin ito, then it would be really hard for you. Okay? So, benefits of strategic management is also yung financial benefits po natin. So, bakit nga po ba? Okay? So, financial benefit is,
tinutukoy natin as one of the strategic management benefits. So sabi natin, it is more profitable and successful and improvement in sales profitability and productivity. So yung researches natin, it indicates that organization using a strategic management concept are more profitable and successful than those that not. So businesses using a strategic management concept shows significant improvement in sales, profitability, and productivity compared dun sa mga firms without systematic planning. So, syempre, yung mga researchers po kasi, they really did, okay, experiments or comparing yung mga companies natin that are not, di ba, doing strategic management at yung mga ano talaga, naggumagawa ng strategic planning. Okay? Na-compare nila na kapag ang isang company ay nakakapagawa ng strategic planning niya or management niya ng tama, then mas profitable po yung mga company na ito comparing sa mga yon. And also, okay, businesses using strategic management concept shows significant improvement in sales, profitability, productivity compared to firms without systematic planning. Siyempre, dahil nga, di ba, you're able to take advantage of the opportunities and avoid yung mga threats na meron ka. And of course, to be able to use your strength, di ba? You have been able to identify your strength and weaknesses comparing to your competitors. At syempre, nalaman mo din kung ano yung competitive advantage mo compared sa mga other firms, then you'd be able to improve your sales, profitability, and productivity. So, napakahalaga po ng strategic management in firms organization. So, sinasabi rin po natin that yung mga high-performing firms natin seem to make more informed decisions with good anticipation of both short and long-term consequences. So dahil, di ba, yung planning po natin is not just on the long term but also may mga short-term planning din tayo ng mga objectives na sineset. So of course, since we are doing strategic management plan, na-anticipate po natin kung ano po yung mga mangyayari in the future. So, hindi man siya 100% accurate, then at least yung mga decisions natin are made not just for a short-term or long-term plans lang, di ba? So, yung mga ginagawa mo ngayon is not just para lang sa gusto mong maging result for today, but also para sa mga gusto mong mangyari in the future. So, in contrast, firms that perform poorly, often engage in activities that are short-sighted and do not reflect good forecasting of future economic conditions. So, yung mga strategies po natin, okay, na nagpo-perform, okay, ng systematic planning, syempre, yung mga fluctuations in the external and internal environment is kahit papaano, nagkakaroon sila ng idea regarding sa mga to. So, ibig sabihin, hindi tayo gagawa basta-basta ng mga decisions na could just be good for the short term, pero on the long term, hindi pala maganda. Diba? Like, for example, dahil gusto mong magkaroon ng mataas na sales, kaya ang ginagawa mo is, nagkakaroon ka ng masyadong mataas na prices, o nagsiset ka ng masyadong mataas na prices, yes, it could help you on the short term. But how about the long term? Dahil masyadong namamahala na yung mga customers sa mga benta mo, bibili pa ba sila sa'yo? So, if we are only looking at the short, di ba, yung short period of time and not doing yung mga decisions natin for the long term, then maaga tayong matatapos ang the business industry. Okay? So, maybe, hindi ka ganun kalaki yung profit mo ngayon, but on the long term, dahil nakapag-gain ka ng mga customers mo, then they will help you reach your long-term objectives. Okay? So, meron din tayo, of course, mga non-financial benefits. So, non-financial benefits natin, besides from yung helping firms to avoid yung mga financial demise, or strategic management offers other tangible benefits such as enhanced awareness of external threats. So, dahil dito, okay, nagkakaroon tayo ng
understanding, di ba, on the competitors' strategies. Okay? So, unang benefit natin, enhance natin yung awareness of external threats. So, of course, kapag ka nakikita mo na yung you are already aware of the external threats, then you would be able to avoid it. If you understand competitors' strategies, then you would be able to benchmark or pwede mo itong gamitin. Wala namang masama sa pagkopya sometimes. So, kailangan lang yung mga gagawin mo din na mga strategies is na pag-aaralan mo if yung strategy niya is also applicable to yours. Diba? So, also, you increase employee productivity. So, dahil maayos ang policy mo, maayos ang planning mo, even yung reward system mo, then, yung mga empleyado mo is also would increase their productivity. Also, we could reduce resistance to change. So, ibig sabihin, kapag we are strategically doing yung ating planning and management, then kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng changes on the organization, hindi po tayo masyadong mahihirapan on the implementations or yung pagpupaintindi sa mga employee po natin kung ano yung nangyayari dun sa ating organization. So, yung resistance to change nila is mababa. So, mas madali po nating maiko-communicate sa kanila, sa mga empleyado po natin, kung bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng changes. And also, we can clear performance reward relationship. So, ito po kasi napaka-importante ito sa isang organization to have a clear reason behind yung performance reward relationship ng mga empleyado natin. Okay? And order and disciplines the firm. So, kasi since strategic management helps us on yung systematic na decision making, then ibig sabihin, nade-develop po natin yung order and discipline din sa firm. Sabi ko sa inyo, communication is the key para magkaroon ng successful po na strategic management. So, also, we need to have, diba, yung commitment. And we should be disciplined enough para magawa po natin yung ating strategic management plans. Okay? And lastly, to view change as opportunity. So, dahil sabi natin, if we really wanted to be successful strategies, kailangan we should always be yung chief learning executive. So, kailangan hindi ka na tumitigil on learning. Okay? Kailangan you should always strive, okay, on adapting to changes. So, why some firms do not do strategic planning? So, bakit nga ba hindi sila nag-strategic planning even knowing all the facts, yung mga benefits of strategic plans? So, some firms do not engage in strategic planning and some firms do strategic planning but receive no support from managers and employees. So, some reasons for poor or no strategic planning are as follows. So, poor reward system. So again, why do some firms do not do strategic plannings? Okay, so the first thing is the poor reward structure. So when an organization assumes success, it often fails to reward successes, and when failure occurs, then the firm may punish. So sometimes because of the poor reward structures or pag nagkakaroon po tayo ng problem regarding rewarding yung mga successes po natin, then nagkakaroon tayo diba ng word like demotivated. So kahit naman sino, diba, kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng achievement or milestone na hindi natin nare-recognize or hindi po natin nabibigyan ng tamang reward system, then of course, demotivate tayo kasi parang napupunta sa wala yung ating pinaghirapan. And sometimes, kung kailan, di ba, nagkakaroon ng
ng problems or failures, dun lang natin nare-recognize yung ating yung results or yung evaluations ng mga yung mga mangyayari. So, like for example, 'di ba, hindi napapansin yung ating mga magagandang nagagawa pero pagka mali yung ginawa natin, dun lang tayo napapansin actually. So, kapag ganun po, ibig sabihin meron tayong poor reward structures on the organization as a whole. So, pag may poor reward structures po tayo, talagang hindi po natin makikita sa strategic planning as someone or somehow that could help us on attaining yung mga goals and objectives natin. This is the main reason why, di ba, on the history of strategic planning, there comes a time in which they felt like strategic planning is not helping them anymore or they are not yielding profitable returns on strategic planning. And also, firefighting. So, what do we mean by firefighting? So, an organization can be so deeply embroiled in resolving crisis and firefighting that it reserves no time for planning. So, sometimes, di ba, dahil mahilig nga tayo on procrastinations or rush, di ba? So, dahil hindi tayo nakapag-strategic planning, mas nakakapagkaroon tayo ng focus kung paano i-resolve yung ating yung nagiging problems po natin. Like, for example, pag sinabi kasi natin firefighting, um, we are fighting the fire already. Now, matapos yun. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng resources natin, binubuhos natin para mapatay natin yung apoy o yung problema. Instead of sana, di ba, nakapagplano tayo para hindi tayo magkaroon ng apoy. Prevention is better than cure. So, dahil yung mga organizations natin are into firefighting or kapag nagkakaroon ng problema, doon lang sila nag-resolve, then nauubos talaga yung kanilang mga resources. That is why they do not do strategic planning. Waste of time. Eh, pag sinabi natin waste of time, some firms see planning as a waste of time because no marketable product is produced. So, time spent on planning is an investment. So, time is the most, diba, expensive resource of all time that because you cannot go back on time. So, kadalasan, yung mga ano po natin, strategies po natin or yung leaders po natin, they felt like pag nagpaplano tayo, sasayang yung oras natin. Kasi nga, instead yung pagpaplano natin, gumagawa na sana tayo ng actions, nauubos yung oras natin sa pagpaplano pa lang, di ba? Dahil planning takes time. So, they felt like planning is a waste of time. Kaya hindi po sila nag-strategic plan, which is very wrong because planning, di ba, saves you from so much cost. Diba? So, too expensive. Some organizations see planning as too expensive in time and money. So, totoo naman. Okay? So, strategic planning is expensive. Dahil, syempre, mag-hire ka ng mga tao that are really focused on strategic planning. And of course, mag-spend kayo ng oras para magawa yung strategic planning na sinasabi po ninyo. So, syempre, mag-structure po kayo ng mga policies, ng mission and vision, yung implementations ninyo, and even yung evaluations ninyo, ayusin nyo yan lahat. So, it really takes yung so much of our time, di ba? So, it is expensive. Kaya, yung mga ibang firms do not do strategic planning. Also, because of laziness, people may not want to put forth the effort needed to formulate a plan. So, dahil tamad na sila na gumawa ng plano, so go na lang. Kung naging effective, then thank you. If not, then sila. And content with success. So, pag sinabi natin content with success, particularly if a firm is successful, individuals may feel that there is no need to plan because things are fine as they stand. But success today does not guarantee success tomorrow. So, like for example, if you are a firm na kumikita na and you felt like di mo na kailangan mag-strategic planning dahil kumikita ka naman na. So, sabi natin, di ba, yung success natin today doesn't mean that it will always be ganun yung mangyayari in the future. So, the only thing that is inevitable is change. So, hindi natin alam when the world turns upside down, right? So, kailangan, if we are doing strategic planning, of course, at least we can be much stable than someone that is just umaasa lang sa success na meron siya ngayon. And a fear of failure. By not taking action, there is a little risk of failure unless a problem is urgent and pressing. So whenever something worthwhile is attempted, there is some risk of failure. So of course, yung mga ibang mga tao po, they are natatakot sila na mag-fail ng kanilang mga strategic planning since it takes time, since it wastes money para sa kanila. So, they really fear of taking the risk. Okay? Doon sa kanilang paggawa ng strategic plan, kaya hindi na lang sila gumagawa. So, overconfidence. As managers, okay, yung mga managers na merong vast experiences o marami na po silang mga experiences, they may rely less on formulated planning, kundi dun sa mga experiences na lang nila. So, however, it is appropriate, okay, na kailangan is that yung experience natin and yung formulated plans natin are combined, di ba? So, being overconfident or overestimating experience can bring the missed or yung failure. So, forethought is really wasted and is often the mark of professionalism. Siyempre, kailangan natin ng confidence para hindi naman tayo magkaroon ng hindi tayo yung masyadong walang confident na takot tayo, 'di ba, sa failure, yung meron tayong fear of failure. So, kailangan natin ng confidence pero pag it is overconfidence, sabihin masyado na tayong tiwala dun sa sarili natin and hindi na feeling natin hindi na natin kailangan ng formulated plan, then nagkakaroon tayo ng problema ngayon, 'di ba? So, pumapalya tayo ngayon pag ganun tayo. Prior bad experiences. Ito naman, people may have had a previous or bad experiences with planning na kapag pinaplahan mo hindi nakukulayan or hindi natutuloy, kaya ayaw na nila magplano, di ba? Kaya meron mga tao pag sinasabing, magplano tayo, wag na, hindi naman natutuloy. So, may mga ganun tayong mga experiences, okay, na tungkol sa planning. Kaya yung mga iba, hindi na rin nagpa-plano. So, okay, so yun yung is one of the reason why some other firms are not planning. Self-interest. So when someone has achieved a status, privilege, or self-esteem to do effectively using an old system, he or she often sees a new plan as a threat. So ibig sabihin, kapag itong person na to, di ba, meron na siyang nakuhang recognition dahil sa mga old systems na ginagamit niya or old methods, pag pinalitan mo yun, ma-feel niya na parang ina-outbeat siya or ina-outrun siya. So, the tendency is ayaw po niya pagka meron po tayong bagong plano na pinapatupad. Okay? Next is fear of the unknown. So, people may be uncertain of their abilities to learn new skills, of their attitude with new systems, or their ability to make new rules. So, it means po, the fear of the unknown dahil nga po hindi po natin alam kung ano yung pwedeng mangyari. So, the people tend to fear dun sa uncertainty ng mga abilities po nila na makapag-adapt dun sa mga new skills. Kaya, many of them are really iniiwasan po talaga nila itong mga strategic planning na ito. Next is honest difference of opinion. So people may sincerely believe that the plan is wrong. They may view the situation from a different viewpoint, or they may have aspiration for themselves or the organization that are different from the plan. So different people in different jobs have different perceptions of a situation. So why do other companies do not do strategic planning?